Hello and welcome to another fabulous episode of the Suzette Speaks Show. I am Suzette Speaks, and this is Super Bowl weekend, y'all. I'm so excited that you're here joining me for a discussion about the NFL. So many people have reached out to me asking me what I think is going to happen when it comes to Rihanna's halftime show and what I'm looking forward to in terms of the teams. But it struck me today when I was talking to a friend guy of mine about why he is not watching the Super Bowl. And I thought to myself, are there people that are really not going to watch it? And like him, there are others that reached out after I posed a question on my YouTube page. What do you think about the NFL? Are you still supportive of the NFL, or do you think there's still a lack of opportunity when it comes to Black coaching, when it comes to upper management? And of course, we haven't seen a change when it comes to policing in the United States. Well, I want to see what you think. Is all forgotten with the NFL? Are you going to watch the Super Bowl like it never happened? That is, that we never had this gentleman on the scene reminding us about how important it is to have a voice and to use our platform for a greater good. Salute to Colin Kaepernick on this Super Bowl weekend. We're going to talk to you out there about what you think. Do you still support the NFL? Is Colin Kaepernick still relevant? Is this the discussion we should still be having? Or have we all moved on as a culture? It's time to get into it. I want you to go to my YouTube page if you're watching me on Facebook and look up Suzette Speaks and go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We're talking Colin Kaepernick. We're talking about Super Bowl today. We're talking about the NFL and what we are or are not still doing. And have we forgotten 2016 and all the courageous folks who knelt alongside Mr. Kaepernick? Hit the like button. Or are we past that? Is it too much to ask a nation or Super Bowl fans to step aside or to no longer engage when it comes to the NFL? Or is the NFL too big to be ignored? Is it too popular? Do they have the eyes and ears of a nation so locked in that no matter what happens and no matter what player is blocked from his career trajectory, no matter if Colin Kaepernick has still been and continues to be blackballed because of his political opinion, and have we actually seen any true change in the NFL? Enough that warrants Black celebrities to be performing, enough that warrants us buying the tickets to head out there. Some of you who are lucky enough to go to the Super Bowl this weekend. And are we giving our attention, our eyeballs, therefore advertising money to an organization that deserves it? Come on in and say hello. Welcome to our co-sponsors today. Jamaicans.com is a Facebook page and website that allows me to simulcast on Saturdays. And I'm so proud of all the work we've been able to do together. Shout out to Jamaicans.com. If you're watching me on Facebook, big up yourself. If you're watching me on the Suzette Speaks YouTube channel or Suzette Speaks YouTube page, welcome, y'all. It's been a minute. I'm excited for this weekend. I'm not going to lie. I am very much looking forward to Rihanna. If we have any Rihanna Navy in the building, let me know. We're going to talk about Miss Rihanna in a second. But my question today is, and this is an open mic chat, I'm going to drop the link right away, which is that you can come in and say hello to me. You can speak to me without showing your face. And if you want to give your opinion, more importantly, go ahead and leave it in the chat box. Or if your team replay, you're watching it after the live broadcast, go ahead and let me know what you're thinking in terms of the Super Bowl. So join the conversation. This is a Super Bowl special, and I want to know if you're still pro NFL, or is it just your favorite pastime? You will not give up the NFL no matter what. Is it a place where you find that there are men, mostly men of color, the majority of them, making good money, able to feed their families, having good livelihoods, so we should support it? Are you aware of the disparities, maybe if you're watching overseas, when it comes to ownership of NFL teams, when it comes to coaching positions in NFL teams, and how few Black people and people of color actually hold those positions in the NFL? And are you okay with the legacy that is Colin Kaepernick being left behind, and some would say blackballed and prevented from continuing his career due to his political opinions and his courageous stance back in 2016. Let's go. I want to hear what you have to say. This is a pre-NFL show. Yes, I did say my Rihanna. Big up to the Navy. I am a Rihanna Navy. Been with her from Pun the Replay up on the replay. But do you remember? Oh, how we forget. Back in 2016, it was a big deal when Black performers stepped forward and said, no, NFL, we are not coming to perform during the halftime show. We want you to do more about equity. You have a huge platform, what they call the bully pulpit, which allows you a big voice in terms of influencing our culture in the United States and beyond. That the NFL does a lot of programs when it comes to volunteering and giving back. But is there enough focus on racial justice? Is there enough focus on equity in terms of their own internal hiring practices? Is the NFL making a lot of money, bottom line, off of Black folks? And are they doing enough to earn that support? I don't know. I want to hear what you have to say. Are you looking forward to halftime with Miss Rihanna? Does it all matter to you? Have you decided, guess what? I got to see it because it's a cultural event. People around the world, literally billions of people are going to watch. And I want to see what's going on, even though I don't know about the NFL. Is it a part of your favorite pastime? Some people love American football. As we know in other places across the world, soccer is football. But that's why I make the distinction, knowing that I have viewers from around the world. But I want you to come in and hit the like button, leave your comments. Let me know what you're thinking. I'm SuzetteSpeaks, TV host and attorney here in Miami, Florida. It is a beautiful day, y'all. I'm excited to be here with each and every one of you, and I want to know what you think about this you remember this Colin Kaepernick? You remember when he had the low fade, the low Caesar? Do you guys remember this Colin Kaepernick? When he was a dynamic and talented force to be reckoned with in the National Football League here in the United States. He was popular, well-loved, and then he had an awakening. Come on, somebody. This man said, I want to make a change in my community. I want to kneel to symbolize, and there were people who disputed why he was kneeling during the anthem, that he didn't like the anthem, that he was disrespecting the United States military and all this. No. If you really look deeply into what he was saying, how can I stand by where there are so many injustices happening to people who look like me? I want to shine a light on it. I want to use my platform to highlight it. I want to see what I can do to create change with the platform I was given. This is me kind of, putting my own twist to what I saw. And he inspired many through his actions, right? You remember the evolution. Hey, Ashiva in the building on the Facebook side. Welcome. Sis says, not a fan of the NFL. CRT perspective. Notice not much fanfare over Riri. Very interesting point, sis. Now, she did a press conference because I was wondering, I'm like, when is Rihanna going to start talking about this landmark, performance of hers? She has not performed live. And I was looking it up since like the Grammys a few years back. She has also recently given birth. And I think for her, it is supposed to be like a triumphant comeback for her to hit the stage and grace us with a live performance. But I do agree with you. I think some of the PR, they do the subtle marketing, the Instagram posts. Of course, she has millions of followers, so people are going to see it. And you have some news stories now. I will show you the headlines from People Magazine shortly and people.com and what they're saying about Rihanna. So I think it was a big step for us as a community to see where are we back on the same side, if you will, as the NFL. Are we feeling that the NFL has done enough to earn our dollars? And if I may add, not just buying tickets, but watching supports the ad revenue, right? The advertising depends on the eyeballs watching. So everything that we do, hit the like button, is supporting it, whether we know it or not. Whether you buy a jersey, whether you buy a ticket, right? Whether you attended the Pro Bowl or whether you just watch at home. Lots of what we are doing is contributing to the growth of the NFL. And I want to ask you more critically, should we be supporting the NFL? Have they done enough to earn our support? Come on, somebody. Let me hear your opinion. Go ahead and pull up a chair. I want to hear what you have to say. I've dropped the link in the comments. And I want to know if you too feel that the NFL has done enough. Now, I did put up a survey on my YouTube page. And if you're watching on Facebook, again, you can go over to YouTube, look up SuzetteSpeaks. Let me put my name up so you can see it. And hit the like button, why don't you? So more people can see the stream. But yeah, there's a lot of, I think, short-term memory that we suffer from here. And again, life comes at you fast. We have an incredibly fast news cycle. News comes at us at lightning speed. Before, our forefathers, great-grandparents, grandparents, even parents, depending on our age, they got news by the Sunday paper. They had 3 channels to look up information or to hear broadcast news when it came to television. They probably had a couple radio stations, but news was pretty uniform and it only happened once a day. Now we are constantly bombarded. So do we have enough energy to focus on what was or what still may exist? What will be? And are we committed? All right, because again, I talked to a friend today and he was like, I was like, what you doing for Super Bowl? He's like, I'm not watching it. I was like, people are not watching the Super Bowl? Like, where they do that at? And he was very serious, very serious. He was like, no, I haven't forgotten what happened with Mr. Kaepernick and how they blatantly kept him from living out his full potential. Is it past time that we stop talking about Mr. Kaepernick? Has it have nothing to do with you or what his message was? Is it outdated now? Do you feel still drawn to the NFL in the ways we were before Mr. Kaepernick protested? What are your thoughts? Help me grow this channel. You can always support me. My Cash App on the screen there. And if you're watching, do me a favor, like, comment, and share. Hit the like button, you guys. Again, live discussion today. Want to get into your minds in terms of my speakers, my Suzette speakers. I appreciate each and every one of you who are subscribed to my channel. If you're brand new, welcome. And we're talking NFL Super Bowl weekend. And we're talking about whether or not we as a community, remember this, gentlemen? You remember the transition when Mr. Kaepernick went full fro? Y'all, do you remember? It was a big deal when he started growing his fro out. We were like, really, Colin? Is it this? Is it thick and fluffy? It is perfect now. If you've seen him as of late, the hair and the fro is froing, okay? But I'm more concerned with his message and whether or not we still stand with Colin Kaepernick. Do you think as a community we stand with Colin Kaepernick? Or have we forgotten the message? Is it relevant still to this day when it comes to the NFL? Or have we moved on? The NFL has done enough. He's just one man. He's just one player. He doesn't need, more support, even though his career ended as quickly as possible after he began to protest. Is there more that we could have done to stand with him? And is there more that we could be doing to stand with him now? Is that our place, y'all? Or are you over it? We've moved on. The NFL doesn't have anything to do with police brutality, doesn't have anything to do with systemic injustices. We got to move forward. What do you think? Let me know. I want to see you in the chat. I see you guys. Welcome. Oh my goodness. First of all, there are people cheering for their teams in the chat. First of all, Dr. Cass says, let's go Chiefs. All righty then. Someone's watching. Someone said, okay, we got a game on our hands. Let's keep it focused. Hey, Damon, how are you? And shout out to the big bro out here trucking. Jeremy comes through with the super chat. My goodness. Okay, happy Super Bowl to you. How do you feel? Let's see what Jeremy has to say. He says, Suzette, now you know the American people, and this is one of the key points I wanted to bring up today, the American people will not give up football. Why am I even asking this question, right, Jeremy? Unfortunately, 2016 is nothing more than a distant memory, and I honestly haven't heard the name Kaepernick in a while until today. Okay, glad I brought it back, jog the memory of many. I was like, I'm gonna post about this because I had a great discussion with a friend, a homeboy, who was like, nah, I haven't forgotten. NFL has not done much. They have kept this man from living his full potential, blackballed him, kept him on the sideline, have not addressed enough equity and inclusion of Black people in the higher rungs of NFL leadership, of coaching and assistant coaching, and most definitely of ownership. So have we just been blinded by what we enjoy so much? The game itself, is it untouchable? Because it's such an enjoyed pastime of this country. It doesn't matter what they're doing in terms of helping move the ball forward. Okay, good analogy there. When it comes to making sure there's equality and equity, even in the NFL itself. Let's not talk about the whole country. I'm talking about within the NFL itself. Has it fixed enough of its issues? Or like Jeremy says, come on, Sue, this is everybody's sport. We love our football. What are you talking about? How are people going to step away from their favorite pastime? Americans love NFL football, and there is no way they're going to give it up. Is that just the truth? We have no other contention but to say, all right, thank you, Mr. Kaepernick, for everything you did. We are with you in spirit. Sorry that you lost your career as a result of standing up for injustice. Not against the country, There was a huge distinction there, right? Misrepresented in many platforms that he was protesting the country. But he was protesting actual injustice he saw that no one, he felt, was addressing adequately. So he tried to use his platform accordingly. And then we got this. We got the full-blown fist in the air, the strong arm, other strong arm of strength to say, guys, let's take a stand. And for the most part, the community as a whole showed its solidarity and was like, Mr. Kaepernick, yes, we feel you. We're with you. We wasn't about no NFL for a good year or two. We wasn't about no NFL. He ended up filing a lawsuit, right? A collusion-based lawsuit saying that the NFL teams colluded against him to keep him out of the NFL after voicing his opinion. Or are you guys of the opinion? And again, I am playing devil's advocate here, that it was a job. He had a job to do. When you go to your job, you can't necessarily share your political opinions anytime you want to. And so he must focus on, playing. Now, I won't say it's as far as shut up and play, but there are people that feel like he should just shut up and play, and that any athlete should do the same. But remember, we have a history of athletes using their platforms for resistance in the past here in the United States quite effectively. Muhammad Ali, thank you to all those soldiers, the ancestors who did. Are these athletes today prohibited, or should they be prohibited from doing the same thing? Colin risked it all, y'all. Do we still care? Are there enough changes right now in the NFL that allow you to look at him and say, you know what? I feel for you, Mr. Kaepernick, but I'm going to watch my game. I don't know. Let's go. Jeremy, sponsoring today, says, I'm more of a college football fan. Some people say they have switched to college. Others are still like, no, this is a beautiful game. It pays a lot of Black men, majority of the league. But are those men still getting treated equally? Remember the NFL, even in its paperwork, when it came to compensation after their playing days, Black players on paper were getting less based on crazy studies that said that Black people, I'm paraphrasing, had less intelligence and therefore had less loss of like income due to where their brains started. You remember this? This was documented. Y'all can look it up. It has been now corrected. But how long had it been in place? Who suffered at the hand of literally outright bias, racism, to say that Black players were not valued as much in terms of their earning potential and capacities, brain capacities, therefore would not get the same in terms of their post-playing days. This was a real thing. And there were many more issues that Mr. Kaepernick had. Are we done with it though? It's Super Bowl Sunday, guys. Let's go. Shout out to Jeremy on the super chat, showing love in a big way. I really appreciate you. Always supportive. And thank you so much for your comment. This is open mic. I've dropped the link, y'all. Funny enough, I gotta go to a vegan a vegan food tasting in a little bit here. Shout out to my vegans. I'm not vegan. I'm pescatarian, right? I like my fish, my seafood. But my homegirl invited me. She needed company, and I'm going with her to a vegan tasting in just a little bit. So come through if you're coming through. Do you support the NFL is the question of the day. Do you support the message of Colin Kaepernick to this day? Is it still relevant? Have you moved past it? Do you think there should be artists like Rihanna and other Black artists involved? And I'm telling you, we have a lot. Cheryl Lee Ralph will be singing. I love some Cheryl Lee. Also Jamaican American, singing the Negro National Anthem as a part of the celebration on the Super Bowl Sunday. And many others are involved, have been strategically, placed on the program, if you will. Have they done enough, or is it window dressing? Are you satisfied with changes you've seen in the league? Are you still supporting, and are you still watching? Let me read some of your comments. Let me drop the link one more time. If you want to come up, now is your time. Let me know what your team is. If you are like, Sue, get on with it. This is a Super Bowl. Join the conversation. It's a beautiful day here in Miami. Wanted to show love to all of you who are subscribed, all of you who contribute, like, comment, and share. Shout out to our co-sponsors today, Jamaicans.com. But yeah, it's a lot right now. Do you really feel the NFL has done enough to warrant our full-out support? Let me hear what you got to say. Damon, hey, says, I'm watching. I'm a Chiefs fan living here. Okay, he's from Kansas City. So he's like, listen, or he's living, let me correct that, in Kansas City. So he's like, so what you expect? It is a cultural event, a large scale, not even large scale, probably in the American culture, probably one of the largest sporting events of the year, if not the largest, right? More hot dogs are eaten, more hamburgers are eaten, more pizzas ordered. It is a gathering of family and friends. I was going to go to my friend's house, and I told her I got to go to my cousin's house because my cousin just invited me. It's a big deal. The Super Bowl party is a real thing here in the United States. We look forward to hanging out with our peoples and watching the game, eating and socializing. And of course, watching the halftime show. But what do you think about our about face? Have we forgotten the message of Kaepernick? Are we okay now with the NFL? Are y'all cool? It's like you with him, or you just love the sport? Let me know. Hey, Tracy. Let me see. Rachel, welcome, says, well, Jay-Z took advantage of CP NFL issue and now produces that's what happened. Jay-Z is the producer of the halftime show. So he was saying he took it as an opportunity to take over the production rights. Okay. African Americans forget slavery. Not all of us. But I hear your point. I'm going to finish reading it. Forget slavery and what our ancestors went through and fought for, let alone remember CP and the NFL. I have boycotted and will continue to do so. Good for you, Rachel. You're not the only one. I was just so taken aback. I was like, oh, there are people really sticking with their guns. There are people who are saying, no, 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 no. No NFL for me. They have not made enough changes. They continue to hold back internally within their organization progress in terms of allowing for Black people in specific, people of color in general, to raised to the highest rungs of up top ownership, to lead as a coach, right? And we're looking at lack of change, but everybody's back focused on, back on the bandwagon for, back watching like this never happened. Has enough change occurred for you? Or are you like Rachel? Have you taken a stance? Have you said, this is it? I'm not going to be down with the NFL. They are doing too much or too little. I appreciate you, Doug. I see you, one of my fabulous Patreon members and moderator. He's letting y'all know I do have exclusive content on Patreon. Would y'all want to see a vegan tasting? I don't know if Patreon wants to come along with me today after the show, but I will be doing it in just a few. So I'm not going to make this a long one, but I wanted to bring to light, while it was on my heart, what are we doing? Do we forget? Do we remember this gentleman? Do we remember the cost he paid? Right? This was a huge deal. This was not a joke. This was something that was super, super self-sacrificing, career sacrificing, longevity sacrificing. For him to step forward in this way, Colin Kaepernick literally risked his whole career. And do you think the message that he was trying to send is still relevant? Are you still supporting the NFL? Is it something that you think doesn't even apply right now? We're past that. We don't need to go that deep. He shouldn't have knelt. He should have knelt. He paid the cost. We've moved forward. Or will his message, will we look back and say, dang, thank you for pioneering, when we actually do see finally some significant changes in the NFL? I want to ask you what you feel. Go ahead and leave it in the chat. Talking Colin Kaepernick, talking whether or not you feel the NFL has done enough to warrant our support. Will you be watching the Super Bowl? And again, if you are, I'm not here to judge. I'm just asking the question. Does the NFL still deserve our support? Have they done enough since 2016? Or are we looking at it in the short view? We got a bunch of Black entertainers going to be involved. We love the sport as a whole. It's one of America's most, if not the most popular sport. And we just enjoy the game. Enough opportunities for Black players are there. Although if you're paying someone $40 million, what is the owner making is what I always ask. We're buying tickets. We're giving them our eyeballs. What are we doing? What y'all think? Let me know in the chat. Hit the like button, please. And I appreciate you being here watching. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I appreciate you. Let me see. What is the chat saying? You guys are so funny. I love my speakers. Let me see. Lord God. Okay, I'm going to skip a couple of these. I appreciate you watching, guys. Thank you so much. Join the conversation. Yes, we do vegan stuff for friendship. Thank you. The Urbanista. Thank you so much. Says, hey, Suzette. Oh, back in the day, keep up the great words. Great seeing you on your show. Went to college together at UF. Oh, wonderful. Hey, Queen. Good to see you. Yes, Queen Regina said, we didn't hear a peep about Jerry Jones. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, ho, ho. I appreciate you. Oh, thank you again for the super chat. The Urbanista in the building representing. I appreciate you, sis. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting me and my content. I appreciate you. Like I said, this came about from a real conversation with like a friend in my real circle who I was asking him what he was doing tomorrow. And old boy was like, what? I don't watch Super Bowl. I don't watch NFL. And I was like, what? I'm like, why? It's like, no. I'm here trying to decide which NFL party I'm going to. I'm not going to lie. Call me a hypocrite. I want to discuss it, but I'm telling you what I'm really doing, right? I'm like, it's a social event. It's a social event. I'm going to go to my homegirls first, try to catch the halftime there, then go to Cuz house, finish it up, right? It is a time of gathering, of being together with people that you love and care about, and of course, enjoying the game itself. I remember Super Bowls from I was probably about 5-6 years old. I remember my parents going to friends and relatives' houses for Super Bowl. This is like a part, again, of the American zeitgeist, they say. This is a important part of our culture, one of our holidays, if you will, where we celebrate together, and it's a part of kind of the sharing of I guess this kind of shared experience, the sharing of the shared experience. Let me rephrase that. Is a part of a shared experience that no matter what you make, no matter where you live across the country, no matter, your political leaning, we all enjoy Super Bowl. Like that's a part of us. I guess one unifying part of it. We all enjoy Super Bowl. So is it enough? Is it enough that okay, we had Mr. Kaepernick. We had that moment in time. It's a part of NFL history. It's a part of our American history. He, of course, lives that every single day. But have we moved on? Has it been enough done, enough said by NFL players? And are we like past it? I appreciate you, sis. Thanks again. The Urbanista. Check out her channel, y'all. Congrats on your channel, love. Here talking a little Super Bowl. Want to know what you think. Are you looking forward to the big game? Today I'm thinking about this gentleman, and again, my heart hurts just thinking about how much sacrifice he made just by trying to stand up. And even this picture is quite telling, the Urbanista. If you look, you see the background, there's a gentleman to the left raising his fist behind him. You see the police officer. This was just such a polarizing period. The police officer standing in the background, saluting Mr. Kaepernick, Eric Reed, and many more. These are just the three that became very popular, at least him and Eric Reed. But there were many more that stood, that I necessarily kneeled, who felt like if I'm a black man, I'm no different than, especially, what's going on in these streets. Even what happened recently, go back and watch my show about Tyree Nichols, right? My reaction to the police video. If you're on Facebook, go over to the YouTube page, go to SuzetteSpeaks on YouTube and watch my show. That was a good show. And I had several brothers come up on that show and express to me, thank you. I think Noble and several others were with me and talking about, as black men, their experiences with police from the time they were little. I forget who was telling me his story about how he was manhandled at like 12 in Atlanta. 12 years old, a police officer. Go back and watch that Tyree Nichols show. I'm going to clip it up. I've been saying I want to clip up where I had my guests, my speakers, come up and share their personal stories about them as being black men in America. All of them. Baltimore, Atlanta, and I forget where my other couple of guest viewers who came up on the panel to talk to me that day on that show were from. But all of them had crazy experiences with law enforcement from they were little. The pain was there. I was listening and I was like, Father, this isn't changed, right? We still have this issue. So to think about what Mr. Kaepernick was trying to bring a light to, and how much he sacrificed to bring a light to it, it leaves us to kind of wonder, are we doing our part? That's what I want to ask. Are we doing it? Let me see, Doug. Thank you again to the Urbanista and Out Here Trucking. Doug says, I have no opinion about the NFL. It's a corporation that employs a large number of black people, from trainers to coaches. We don't really be on the top of the coaches, though, Doug. But yes, a point taken. He's like, I'm ambivalent, neither here nor there. He adds, my only thought about the NFL is if you don't like it, don't support it and start your own. Is it too big, though, Doug? That's what I'm saying. People love them some NFL. That's why I was like, is it so big and so influential that it's almost untouchable? This is America's pastime. Again, regardless of race, regardless of class, regardless, of anything, economics or geographic location, we love our football. And therefore, is it always going to be a part of us? And they're not going to have to move or do anything major. They can do some window dressing. They can give Jay-Z, apparently, thank you, the halftime show, and we'll get more black faces and during halftime. And I think, again, those are great opportunities Is it already time for it? Rihanna, step forward. Has enough been done for us to move past where we were just a few years ago? I don't know. We're gonna hear from you. Let me hear from you, my speakers. Appreciate you, Ashiba Brown. And yes, Queen coming with it strong. Queen Regina said crime. Eagles player Joshua Sills allegedly, I don't know, I'm reading your comment, indicted on grape and kidnapping charges. Ahead of the Super Bowl 2019. Why are we hearing about this in 2023? Okay. There are people that say, there are players that some get more punishment and get to come back or commit offenses and get to come back. Others stay out of the league. You have people who have issues who, people look the other way. I've heard this before. Again, I don't want to get into kind of individual players, but thank you for bringing that up. And she adds, he's been playing for 4 years and getting paid a full salary. And you can definitely look that up, guys, and corroborate. Trauma informed. Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts to think about when the NFL and what it does in our culture and its place in our culture is involved. Put a 1 in the chat if you're going to be watching the Super Bowl. Put a 1 in the chat. I'm going to leave y'all. Put a 1 in the chat if you're going to be watching the Super Bowl. Put a 2 if you're not. Put a 1 for me if you're watching the Super Bowl. I'm just so curious because there's so many people who I guess I like myself. I'm more, you know what I'm watching? This is what I'm watching. My girl Riri. That's why I'm watching. That's who I'm watching for. I think it's a great opportunity for her as an artist. She hasn't performed in years live. I think it was like I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like the 2018 Grammys. You got to let me know. Are you watching for her? Are you watching for other reasons? Let me see. Queen Regina says Michael Irvin was pulled from broadcasting in the Super Bowl game because of 45 seconds of words in a hotel lobby. He can't remember, and he wasn't of sound mind. He was drinking. Okay. There are so many double standards people feel about the NFL. There are people feeling that, again, it is too big to fail, like almost like these big banks that the government is going to bail it out. Do you know that the NFL is a nonprofit on paper with all the billions that it generates? It's a nonprofit on paper. There are so many things that can be discussed here, guys, but I'm out of time. Y'all hit the like button. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you're watching on the replay, please let me know what you think. Are you a supporter of the NFL? Are you a diehard fan no matter what? Does this matter for you? Are you standing by your principles from way back when Mr. Kaepernick came through and let us know how important it was to take a stand against inequities within the organization itself, as well as things that were happening around the country at the time and still going on as far as what is happening to our people? Are we still on that with the NFL? Yeah, this was a headline. Rihanna and people.com. Rihanna is so focused on her Super Bowl halftime that she forgot her birthday and Valentine's Day. Listen, just coming off a baby on top of that. Salute to Riri. Salute to the Rihanna Navy. Those who watched her grow. It's a huge opportunity, but it's a lot of pressure. She said, I think they said the set list changed how many times of how many songs she's going to try to put in the set back to back to back to back to back. I can't wait. What songs do you think she's going to put in, y'all? I can't wait because I'm a Rihanna fan. So I stand with Rihanna. I stand for Rihanna, right? So I am going to watch, especially for that purpose. But it got me thinking today, where have we been and are we making enough progress? Okay, we got a lot of, we got 2s. We got 1s and 2s. All right. Doug said he's not watching. She would say she only watching halftime. Marlon said he's not watching either. Okay. Boy. Miss Glove girl, what up, sis? How are you? She says, I don't care either way. This isn't my fight. Colin can take her himself. At this point, like I said, he's done well, thankfully, recovering as a business person to go through, Netflix deals, and he had to write a book and he had to do other things. You know what I'm saying? Like he got to eat now, like so many different ways. I don't blame him because his livelihood has been taken from him, right? What he's born to do, what he loves to do, passionate and athletic and super talented at doing was robbed of him, right? But Miss Globe Girl said, listen, he got to take care of him, and he has. But she says, I will be watching Riri. Listen, I can't wait to see you. Queen say nothing ain't changed. That's really where we're at, right? So are you a supporter of the NFL? Leave your comments, final thoughts, please. Let me know. Are you on my YouTube page? If you're watching on Facebook, go over to YouTube, look up Suzette Speaks, please. And go ahead and hit the subscribe button, you guys. Just some food for thought as we get ready for the big Super Bowl game coming up. What will you be doing? Leave your comments below if you're watching Team Replay, and let me know what your thoughts are in terms of whether we should be supporting the NFL or not. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you back real soon. Please hit the like button on your way out, and happy Super Bowl.